Hey everyone, my name is Alex Hart, and I'm the Youth and Young Adult Pastor at Covenant Grove. And as the Youth and Young Adult Pastor, I get to do something incredible with our students every year. With our 7th and 8th graders, I go through a process called confirmation. Confirmation is all about helping our 7th and 8th graders understand their faith and make their faith their own, and then publicly proclaim it before everyone. Woohoo! It is super awesome. We are discipling middle schoolers each year, and we get to see them make bold decisions for Christ. It's a 2-year process, and it starts when they're in 7th grade, and then they finally get confirmed in 8th grade. Now, each year, we will have a handful of students going through the process, and not everyone completes it, which is totally okay, because they're still learning about their faith and about Jesus. And for those who do, we want to celebrate the amazing commitment they made to Jesus and to their faith. And so we're going to hear from some of our confirmation students who completed the process this year. So you might be asking, what are we going to hear from these students? Well, that's a great question. We're going to hear about why they chose to go through confirmation. We're going to hear about their faith. We're going to hear about the habits that they committed to do and that they continue to do after confirmation. We're going to hear about how they interviewed different people to learn about their faith and the scriptures they read. And ultimately, we're going to hear the decisions they made about their faith. So join us as we hear from our confirmation students. Normally, we would have our students on stage with us and celebrating us. But this year, it's a little different. So we're going to hear from them Zoom style. Zoom, Zoom!
I wanted to get to know God more because I knew I wasn't the best in my faith, and so I wanted to try to get deeper in and deeper.
To do confirmation because I wanted to grow my faith in God, my relationship with Him. I wanted to see others grow their faith as well.
Well, it's kind of just been something that my family has done, like my brother and sister did it. And so, I'm the next child or the last child. And so I felt I should do this, and I wanted to do it anyway. No, even if none of them did it, I would have still probably done it.
Actually, my devotion and praying every night has gotten a lot better since I started confirmation. So that's really nice because it's helped me get into a routine, even in the time of just there's absolutely no routine for our days anymore. So that's really good because it's helped me stay on track and stay focused with what I need to do every day instead of just sitting around doing nothing.
But I had to kind of develop where I had to read my Bible. I had to remember, oh, hey, today's Sunday, I have confirmation. Or I have to go to church, I have to listen to the sermon. At first, it was pretty hard to remember those. And then once it got further into, I just remembered. I really read the Bible a lot. That changed when I did confirmation. I started reading the Bible along with some others.
Well, I definitely have to put aside some time every day to do the devotions and stuff, which is kind of hard for me since I'm very busy all of the time. And also, even though I already do this, I prayed more every day. Confirmation, I have gotten an iPhone, so now I can have the Bible on my phone, which is a lot easier. If I don't have a Bible in the book with me, I can just read the Bible on my phone, which is a lot easier because for some of the book questions, you had to find a bunch of different scriptures, which would be more time consuming if you had to a real Bible. So it just helped me, and that way I could start reading the Bible every day.
I learned like different things from each of them because since my mom is a pastor, she knows definitely a lot more in-depth details about why we should go to church and what we should do if something, like if we're upset at something or if we need to talk to someone about it. And it was really nice hearing her perspective of everything. And then getting a perspective from my friend from outside of the church. She saw it very differently from my mom and Jen, who both are in the church, because since she doesn't go to church, she thought that if someone wants to go to church, they should go if they just want to. And from Jen and my mom, they talked about how we should go to grow a relationship in God and learn more about it instead of just going every day.
The people I interviewed was my mom, my friend Aaliyah Crumrine, and my nana. Even though they're all different ages, they had very close to the same answers for each question. I learned from Aaliyah. I learned that she said that we should go to church for worship. From my nana, we were made to go to church for fellowship and communion. And from my mom, I learned that it was very important to go to church because to grow a relationship, basically.
There were 3 people that I interviewed. The first one was my friend Jenna. She's the same age as me, and she's 13. The second person was my cousin Elise. She is 16, I believe. I think. Yeah. And then the third person was my mom, Jean. I learned that everyone has a different view of church, and that all churches are different because my friend Jenna goes to, I don't remember which church, but I know she goes to church. Oh, she goes to Crosspoint. And her youth groups and stuff were different than, let's say, our youth groups. And so I just learned that every church is different in some kind of way. It might be how they do their services, if they have snacks or not. It might even come down to if they have name tags or not. My mom, she's a director of ministerial health for the PSWC. And so she knows a lot about church. And she helped me understand different analogies about church. Like she said in one of her interview questions, going to church like going to the movies is not like going to the movies. You don't just sit there and watch what's happening.
Okay, so what I learned from my mom and Jen is you should talk to a pastor about it or a staff member, because if you have conflict with something that they're teaching that you don't think you should talk to them and see their perspective, why they're teaching it and why you don't think they should teach it. Or if you have something wrong with someone, just a person, you need to talk to them directly to get to get the issue solved, to get it cleared. So it's just all done and no one gets mad at anyone. But for my friend, she was talking about how if you if the church does something wrong, you just talk to someone about it. And she didn't say specifically who to talk to, so I feel my mom and Jen gave a lot more in-depth detail to what we should do, why we should talk to them, and what we will benefit.
If we have conflict with somebody, I would try to talk with them about it, and then maybe talk to a leader to see if the problem can be resolved.
That I learned about conflict there's always another way to resolve it. Like there are definitely more than one single way to resolve conflict, and sometimes people don't see that, and that's why they do their actions how they would do it, instead of looking into their minds or looking into the scriptures and figuring out another way of how to resolve conflict.
Learned from the verses is that we should go to church because we were made from God and we are in His community, and we need to learn how to get closer to God and how to help others in that community and help just everyone there, because everyone deserves to know God. And one of my favorite verses that I learned was Acts 12:5. It says, "When we go through difficult times, the church is there for us to pray and help." And I feel like that's really powerful because it shows even if you're going through something, the church will be there for you to help you get through it.
I had a few scriptures that kind of pointed out to me. They were a lot, but they all basically said the same thing. It was stay with the church, and how if you're not there, how can you grow your relationship with God?
I looked at Matthew 5:22. Tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to brother or sister, Raka, is answerable to court. And anyone who says, you fool, will be a danger in the fire of hell. This relates to following God in community, because you should always be following God, even when you are not in church, and handle the situation when you are angry in a calm manner.
And from this is that God wants me to wants me to grow even deeper roots in Him, and to learn more about Him through others, through the Bible, and through my own experiences myself. And the commitment that I want to take from this is to go to church every Sunday and help out as much as I can in kids ministry and with people who need it.
One of the things I learned was about growing my faith with God, growing my relationship. I learned a lot about the disciples. I learned a lot about how to apply Jesus to my life. Interviewing the people and studying the Bible, I learned that not only we go to church because of worship, we go for fellowship, we go just to hear God's voice, His words, and I think I'm very committed to doing that. I want to be very committed to do fellowship. I really feel like I could commit in worship a lot, and maybe helping others that need it.
I learned that going to church is like being a student. You can't just do the homework, study the Bible at home without learning and going to class, going to church and spending time with other Christians. Follow up on my faith even more than I used to. Well, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think after confirmation, I want to get baptized.